Aiden grew up in a small, gray town where dreams felt too large to fit. His father worked long hours in a factory that smelled of rust and oil. His mother, once a piano teacher, stopped playing after the old upright piano went out of tune. Yet every so often she'd hum while washing dishes, soft melodies that filled the cracks of their quiet house. Those hums were Aiden's first lessons. At 13, he recorded his first song using a borrowed microphone and a cracked laptop. It wasn't perfect, his voice was raw, unpolished, but when he played it back, he felt something awaken inside him. He wanted to sing for the world. He joined every talent show he could find. School assemblies, county fairs, online competitions, anywhere someone would let him perform. But the more he sang, the more he heard one word: no. You're not ready. You're good, but not good enough. You don't have the look. Every rejection cut deeper than the last. At 16, he auditioned for a national singing competition, the kind that could launch a career overnight. He stood in line for 12 hours, rehearsing every lyric under his breath, heart pounding with both fear and hope. When he finally stepped onto that brightly lit stage, the judges asked him to introduce himself. His voice trembled. "Hi, I'm Aiden Clarke, and I'll be singing—" He didn't even get to finish before the nerves hit. Halfway through his song, his voice cracked. The notes fell apart like glass. A few people laughed. One judge sighed. "Maybe performing isn't for you," she said gently. Aiden smiled through the tears that threatened to spill, thanked them, and walked off the stage. The laughter followed him down the hallway, echoing like ghosts. That night he locked himself in his room. He didn't touch his guitar for days. His friends told him to give up, to focus on something real. Even his father, trying to be practical, said, "Maybe music's just a hobby, son." But there was something stubborn in his chest, a small, burning coal that refused to die. One night he pulled out his guitar again. His fingers trembled as they touched the strings, but when he strummed the first chord, it felt like coming home. He sang, not for fame, not for approval, but for himself. That became his ritual. Every night after work, he sang to the empty room. The cracked mirror became his audience, the peeling wallpaper his curtain. He watched videos of great singers, Aretha Franklin, Freddie Mercury, Adele, and studied how they turned pain into power. He practiced breathing until his lungs hurt, trained his voice until the neighbors complained, and wrote songs about heartbreak, hope, and the hunger to be heard. Years passed. He auditioned again and again. Each time the answer was still no. But he was no longer crushed by rejection. Every no was fuel. Every door that slammed taught him how to build his own. At 22, he got his first break. Not a big one, but enough to matter. A local cafe needed someone to perform on Friday nights. The pay was small, the crowd smaller, but Aiden said yes without hesitation. On his first night, only 6 people showed up. One was the barista, 2 were a couple who talked through his entire set, and another was a man scribbling in a notebook at the back table. But Aiden sang like it was Madison Square Garden. His voice carried years of rejection, nights of loneliness, and the fire of someone who refused to quit. When he finished his last song, the cafe was silent. Then the man with the notebook stood up and clapped slowly. He walked over after the show and introduced himself. "Name's Carter James. I'm a producer. I don't know who hurt you, kid, but keep singing about it." That night changed everything. Carter invited Aiden to record a demo in his small studio. It wasn't glamorous. The walls were covered in egg cartons for soundproofing. But for Aiden, it felt like the center of the universe. They worked for weeks on his first song called Again and Again. The lyrics told the story of trying, failing, and trying again, about hearing no so many times that you learned to say yes to yourself. When they released the song online, it didn't go viral overnight, but slowly people started to listen. First hundreds, then thousands. Listeners left comments like, "This feels like my story," and "Thank you for putting my pain into words." Within a year, the song had millions of streams. Record labels started calling, the same kind of people who once told him he wasn't ready. But Aiden didn't rush to sign anything. He remembered every rejection, every lesson, every night in that quiet room. He wanted control over his music, over his story. He built his own independent label with Carter and released his first album, The Rehearsal of Failure. Critics called it raw, emotional, and honest. Fans called it real. His concerts sold out within months. He stood before thousands now, lights blazing, voices shouting his name. Yet sometimes in the middle of a song, he'd close his eyes and remember that cracked mirror, the boy who sang to no one, who learned that the world's no doesn't matter if your heart says go on. In an interview years later, a journalist asked him, "How did you handle all those rejections? Most people would have quit." Aiden smiled. "Rejection didn't destroy me, it refined me. Every no stripped away what didn't matter, until only the truth was left. I learned to sing for the love of it, not the applause, and that's what made the applause come." He paused, looking thoughtful. "People think success is built on talent, but I think it's built on heartbreak, on the moments that try to break you. Rejection isn't failure, it's the pressure that turns coal into diamond." Years later, when he accepted his first major award, he stood on stage holding the golden trophy and said, "To everyone who ever told me no, thank you. You were the echo that made my song louder." The audience rose to their feet in thunderous applause. But Aiden wasn't thinking about fame or glory. He was thinking of that 16-year-old boy trembling on stage, the laughter ringing in his ears, and how that moment, his greatest humiliation, was the first spark that built a legend. Because in the end, legends aren't born from easy victories. They're forged in rejection, shaped by resilience, and crowned by the courage to keep going again and again.